Hey guys, Thrasher here. We've got some new banners and some new content in Dragon Ball Legends. Let's talk about it right now. Okay, first up, if we go to menu and then we go to news, we're going to notice there are a lot of new announcements. There are 2 new banners, which we will talk about last. We'll review them and figure out whether we should be spending crystals on them. First, let's go all the way down here and talk about a couple things that we can kind of skip. This game update announcement is just telling us that the Yellow Legends Road Goku, the Goku Youth, they have changed his ultimate move, the way that it looks in combat slightly. These 2 are just telling us that the Nappa event and the Raditz event are back. We can skip all those to save some time. Now, the next thing, Legends Road is back, so if you go to the exchange shop, you can absolutely farm the Legends Road, get more of those medals, use those medals to buy things in the Legends Road shop, and you'll notice that there are 2 more EX battles 5 and 6, and another challenge battle 2. So the big thing here is make sure you're farming. There are Masters Pack 2 tickets in there outside of the actual Rising Souls you're going to need for this Goku to get him up to level 2000. The other thing is make sure that you have a full Legends Road team that is up to level 2000, so that way you can complete all this, because it does get harder. Outside of that, one last thing to note is there are 2 new equipment items, so let's scroll down here and look at both of them. This one is very good if you have a episode Dragon Ball Saga character. So we'll notice here that it increases blast defense by up to 15%, reasonably good. Increases strike attack by up to 18%, that's pretty good. And then this last one is actually extremely powerful, 10% to strike defense for each episode Dragon Ball Saga battle member. So that means if you have the Goku Youth and you have the Demon King Piccolo or any other Dragon Ball Saga character, the 3 of those combined, you can have up to 30% increase to strike defense. So strike damage is not going to be very effective against any character using this on a full Dragon Ball Saga team. Now let's look at the other one. This is 15% strike defense, reasonably good. Obviously not as good as health as I've said in the past, but still decent. There's lots of characters that are primarily strike damage. Up to 20% to blast attack, that's fantastic. It's one of the highest in the game. And then here's the huge one. Up to 30% strike damage inflicted against Saiyans for 40 timer counts. Now, some might say, oh, it's not for the whole battle. 40 timer counts is going to be the majority of your battle. Most battles end up being around 60 to 80 counts if it's a good battle, meaning that for at least half of that fight, any character using this is going to be doing up to 30% more damage with their strike attacks against any Saiyans, which are the meta. So Super Saiyan Bardock, Super Gogeta, Broly. Almost every single meta character right now is a Saiyan, so this is extremely powerful. I heavily recommend farming this, and you're probably going to want 3 of these just in case you run a Dragon Ball Saga team. That last slot can be extremely powerful as well. So let's go ahead and back out of here, and then we're going to talk about the next thing, which is this guy right here, the Shallot upgrade missions. All that really happened if you did all of your previous Shallot upgrade missions is you need to get Shallot up to 2000 and you need to have him full soul boosted, which you should already if you've been doing the Broly missions, because one of the Broly missions takes an all hero team, and pretty much the only way you're going to beat it is if you have this Shallot completely soul boosted out. So if you have that, these missions are all going to be completed. It gives you some chrono crystals. There's no real reason to really go through what all of this is, but the last set here is get him to class super, which is up to 2000, unlock 300 boost panels, so if you have him fully soul boosted, that'll be good to go, and then raise his level to 2000 like I said. So let's go ahead and back out of here, and then the next thing we need to talk about is this right here. This means we're probably going to get another balance update in the very near future. It might be a couple weeks out. We don't know exactly when. Hopefully it's right after this next PvP season ends next Wednesday. One thing I want to note here, so these ones up top, no surprises. Number 1 is Bardock, number 2 is Broly. I figured they'd be switched. I figured number 1 would be Broly, but it's easier to pull Bardock because he had those guaranteed tickets than Broly, so that makes sense. But our top 3 make perfect sense. Number 4 makes perfect sense. In fact, all the way through here, these all I understand. Here's the thing that's crazy is one of the characters that I thought was on deck for balance changes because they had to be in one of the bottom 5 least used characters is not there. One of them is going to be Spirit Bomb Goku. I can almost guarantee he's probably going to get a buff just because no one in the top echelons of players is actually using him. So let's talk about this last one right here. Why is anyone running the legendary Super Saiyan Broly? Here's the problem. I get that some people are running him because they just enjoy the character Broly, but this means that he is not going to get a character balance, so he is going to be garbage again even after this next set of balance changes, which is crazy to me. And that's really all I want to draw your attention to. Most of the main characters are not going to get changed. Some of the characters that are heavily underpowered are probably going to get some buffs. hopefully Pan, hopefully Spirit Bomb Goku, and there's a few others that are definitely down there. Turles, for example. Let's go ahead and back out of here, and then we're going to scroll down to this guy right here, the Super Login bonus. So this is a blockbuster celebration, so they're celebrating that the movie has come out essentially here in America. It's not out absolutely everywhere yet. I believe over the next 6 to 7 days, it'll be out absolutely everywhere. We were hoping, or at least I was hoping, that Gogeta Blue would be today. It seems like they're very aware that the movie has come out. They've got to do something for the movie. It's possible, and this is complete conjecture, so don't take this as fact, that they're going to run this celebration, and then in 6-7 days, whenever the last set of releases happens across the world where the movie has been absolutely released everywhere, they finally release Gogeta Blue. I will be extremely surprised if we go through the full cycle of this movie and at some point we don't get Gogeta Blue. So let's go down through here and talk about these login bonuses. They're pretty varied, but essentially what you're going to get is skip tickets, Zenny, energy tickets, and chrono crystals. So you see there's 200 right there, and then if you go down here, we're up to 400, and I believe there is one more. Yeah, so we get 700 chrono crystals overall out of this, and we'll talk about what you should be doing with those chrono crystals in just a minute. So let's go ahead and back out of here, and then we're going to talk about this new event right here. This is the Android Menace. It's essentially the future Gohan event. You get this Team Trunks as you go through it. And then if we scroll down here, let's look at the actual equipment. So let's skip these two real quick. We'll talk about this bottom one. Increases strike defense by 15%, blast attack by 15%, special move damage by 12.5%. Pretty good. It's not an absolute top tier piece of equipment, but it's reasonably good. There's not too much more that needs to be said about it. Grab one or two of them, make sure you get decent rolls, and then we're gonna skip this one again and come back to that. You stay here. 15% to strike defense, 15% to blast defense, and 20% to strike attack. Those are all very good rolls. They are reasonably good stats. Like I've said many times before, I would prefer HP over a defense type stat because HP obviously works for any type of damage you take as opposed to strike defense specifically or blast defense specifically. But overall, these rolls are good. This is for the future team. I would absolutely grab a few of these because it's probably going to be used on most of your future characters. Now let's talk about the reason that you're going to farm this event. This thing is insane. So you get up to 25% to blast and strike defense, up to 25% to strike and blast attack, and you get base health. I believe this is the most stats they've ever put on an equipment in the game, and they're the best rolls on pretty much all of these that you can get, period. This thing is... I don't even know what to say about how this is the purple Broly of equipment is what this is. Make sure you farm this a lot. You want high rolls on this because this thing is insane. Let's go ahead and back out of here, and we'll move to the next thing because I don't think there's too much more that needs to be said about that. Okay, so we've got two banners that are one that's coming back and one that's new. So let's go in and talk about those real quick. Let's go to Summon. And we'll come back to the Masters Pack in just a second. Let's talk about Legends Yellow. Here are the featured characters. The reason that they're doing this, we've got Final Form Frieza, who's a good character. He's top tier. And then we've got a bunch of other yellow characters. Here's the thing. I'm not even going to really go over which ones are worth pulling, which ones aren't. There are no discounts on this. There are no brand new units. We almost guaranteed have some very good units on the near horizon, and this thing's only around for a week. Don't spend anything on it. This is a 1-star Dragon Ball banner. This is absolutely a trap banner. It's just here to try and lure people in because of the Legends Road thing. You need lots of yellow characters to run that, and they're hoping that you'll spend on this. Unless you're missing 3 yellow characters, you don't have 3 yellow Sparkings at all, do not spend on this at all. Let's go to the next one though. Next up is Masters Pack 2. We have a double Sparking and double Extreme Rate. So what that means is there's a 10% chance to pull Sparking units. We're not going to go through the featured characters because there's too many to go one by one. So we're going to go to Z Power List, and we're going to go over here to Z Power List. Here's the thing. The only character that would even be worth pulling full price on for this entire banner is this guy right here. This Super Saiyan Bardock is the only one that's a top 5 character. There are lots of other reasonably good characters in here, but they're not worth spending crystals on. We're getting a 30% sparking chance from the Legends Road. Make sure that you grab that out of the exchange shop. That'll give you 1 ticket, 30% chance to pull a sparking. And then there are other Masters Pack 2 tickets in Legends Road, so you can pull on this banner, not necessarily for free. It's going to take you some medals from Legends Road, but it won't cost you crystals. So in my opinion, this is a 2-star Dragon Ball banner. What I would do is only use the tickets that you farm up from Legends Road, because they're discounts essentially. Don't buy anything at full price here, and summoning at a discount is completely fine. So if you're spending less than 100 crystals, go for it. Daily discounts, things of that nature, but I would not spend full price on this banner at all. 2-star Dragon Ball banner. And that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys think I missed anything, throw it down below and we'll talk about it. And if you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.